I'm talking about the transfers in for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, I haven't listed all of the transfers on this particular graphic. There's a couple guys missing, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of just highlight a couple guys that have stood out that are transfers in during this transfer window, whether they were transfers from, following Coach Saban or after Coach Kalen Deboer took over the Alabama Crimson Tide. So let's kind of go through one by one. Pictured right here is Austin Mack, but up at the top is Caden Proctor. Now, you're like, what? He's a transfer? Well, I listed him as a transfer because he did transfer to Iowa, right? And the crazy thing was Iowa slid into his DMs when he was struggling last year. And this is a slimy business. They slid in and were like, hey, man, we're still here. We're still proud of you, in-state guy. Caden Proctor of the season decides to transfer to Iowa. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody said he got paid by Iowa, and then he decided to come back to Alabama where he also got paid. I was never able to confirm that. I don't know if that happened. Ty, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Whatever the case is, Caden Proctor, the thing that I love about him is he publicly admitted that the grass isn't always greener, that he wants to finish what he started, and he's back at Alabama. And what was great about this is when he came here, he was with the second team, where he should be, right? You got to earn your spot. You're not just entitled to just come back and take your spot. So he came back, resets, and he's working with the second team behind Elijah Pritchett. And then he's elevated by Coach Kapilovic back to the first team. And we just talked about the offensive line. You can watch my video on that, talking about the offensive depth chart. But Caden Proctor now back at the left tackle position. And the biggest news about Caden Proctor was the fact that he plays now at 6'7", 369 pounds. I want to say this again. For all the people that are concerned that he has more weight than last year, it's muscle. There's a great graphic of him. He looks great. Doesn't have a big fat belly on him. He looks really. I think the added weight was muscle. Now, as you know, if you're lifting out there, you weigh more when you have more muscle on you. And the biggest thing about that is I think he just needed to be quicker. Look, the guys from Texas beat him. Tennessee. You look at their defensive line last year. You look at Michigan's defensive line. You got to be ready. Right? This is you're getting closer to the NFL. He's going to be an NFL guy, a first-round guy, and I think this year he'll have a really promising season. In fact, he was the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week, I think, one time last year. I think he was against Tennessee. I'll have to look that up. Keon Sabb came here from Michigan. People were super excited about him right from the jump, and he's the first-team safety along with Malachi Moore in this 4-2-5 defense. Continue to hear really good things. When you watch the defensive footage that we upload, he is number 3. He's making plays. He's one of the team leaders early on, and just off to a really great start. I think he'll be really impactful, and I think each of these guys that we're talking about here will move on after the season to the NFL. Domani Jackson, okay, this is great. So he came in. Let's rewind. Remember during the Orange Bowl, I think it was AL.com who had some footage of Domani Jackson at the practice shaking hands with Coach Saban. I was there at the practice. I didn't see it. Good job that they saw it. And the clip went, viral. I think this is when he was in the transfer portal. Domani Jackson, former 5-star, announces that he's coming to Alabama. It was huge news. I remember doing a video before I was eating some sushi in Los Angeles. So he comes in, and then Coach Saban retires, kind of wondering what Domani Jackson's going to do. Said the A never changes. And this is probably where he should have started out. I think Domani Jackson, you think about USC, and a lot of people have been critical about him, about his game at USC. I don't think he's been properly developed. And I think Mo Lindquist can get him where he needs to be. You look to, Mo Lindquist, a lot of people forget that he worked, he did a lot of work with Trayvon Diggs, right? Coached Cowboys. So Domani Jackson, he's the first team corner, and I think opposite side of him will be Xavier Brown. If not Xavier Brown, maybe Jalen Mbakwe. If not him, then I guess Deshaun Jones, who's a transfer in from Wake Forest. Jeremy Bernard came in, caught for over did he catch 400 yards or was it like 500 all-purpose yards? Whatever the case is, he's been a shining target for Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe. Nick Sheridan has a lot of positive things to say about Jeremy Bernard. We haven't seen, a lot of hype about him, but I think Like, just wait. Hey, Efron's been a fan funder now for 6 months right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you. Let me ask you this. Do you think that Jeremy Bernard will catch for over 1,000 yards this year? I think that's an easy yes. Type yes, type Y inside the comment box if you think so. Jeremy Bernard, 1,000 yards this year for Alabama. And I think he returned kicks and punts too at Washington. Not to say that he will here at Alabama. In fact, I don't know who's going to return kicks or punts. I guess we'll find out Saturday in the scrimmage. Parker Brailsford, another transfer in from Washington. He'll be starting with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, he came in at 275 pounds, and now when the heights and weights were updated for this coming roster, you had Parker Brailsford listed now at 290 pounds. Looks really good. And by the way, as we were talking earlier on the show, Nick Kelly of the AL.com has some great footage of Parker Brailsford literally snapping the football to Jalen Milroe. It made Alabama fans go crazy, right? It was like the best video that people have seen from springtime. So good news on him. The crazy thing was, and I still don't understand why, and I don't think anyone cares, we didn't see Parker Brailsford during the springtime. Like, I literally saw him walking out of the practice facility, but that was it. Like, he didn't compete in any of the scrimmages. I don't know if it had to do with the transfer credit. I have no idea. Whatever the case is, he's been doing a really good job this spring, and he'll be the starter at the center position. How about this? Graham Nicholson. You go out and you get the Lou Groza Award winner after, losing Will Reichard. You got to admit, let me ask you this inside the comment box. Were you kind of stressing about the kicker position after Will Reichard left? I was critical. I was like, how are you going to replace Will Reichard? You can't. And they did. I think if I had to rank the transfers, I'd probably rank Graham Nicholson number 1, Caden Proctor number 2. Right? Were you tripping? Were you stressing? I was. Now, Alabama will have a scrimmage this Saturday. We'll see how he does. Someone said, I think it was Lynn Shaneyfield, who was inside the comment box yesterday, said that he was kicking 58-yard field goals at practice. Right? Talking about practice. King Mack, hearing good things about him. Right? Came over from Penn State, working in that secondary, working in the second team. And then Austin Mack, I think this has really been probably one of the better storylines too, is him, looks like he's a third-team quarterback above Dylan Lonergan. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, none of that has been official by Coach Kalen Deboer, but he is like repping as a third quarterback. So you got Jalen, then Ty, then the third quarterback takes reps as Austin Mack. All right, not the only one who's came up with that. LT Overton, I think he'll get rotation this year for sure. Missed a small practice, being sick for a day, but he's looked really good. He's number 22 in the footage that you've seen. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. If you like videos like this, hit the thumbs up. And as news happens, we got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube, live every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube.